Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Convo Unedited. Thanks for tuning in for another exciting episode. We've already had some excitement trying to get my next guest on live here, but I think everything's going to work out this time. So, this is a good friend of mine. We've played some music together, known him for quite a few years now. Excited to talk about some of the things he has going on with his wife, Heather. But without further ado, I'm going to get right into it. Dave and Heather Hamar for the Mar Project, or the Mar in St. Pete. Here they are. Can you hear me now?
Hello. Can you hear us now?
What's going on, guys? I appreciate you.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Hey,
Are you guys?
Yeah. We're
Yeah. Okay. So you can hear me well. I can hear you well.
What? Just kidding.
I was like, I'm about to lose. I'm about to throw. I'm going to throw the laptop at this point. Now, I wanted to check in with you guys. Obviously, as I mentioned in the intro, Dave and myself, we have a bit of a history. I don't even know how it was. Years go by so fast. I would say it doesn't feel like 10 years, but maybe it has been 10 years. I don't know.
a little like 11, I think 2000.
Around there, right?
Yeah.
But Dave and I used to play. We played music together. Dave was my drummer. The best drummer, I might add, that we've had. We went through a couple. Dave came through it and brought a whole different energy. So, definitely appreciate and have some real fond memories of our time playing for the Basics and doing some crazy stuff, man. So that's kind of how I know Dave, and I met his beautiful wife in person. Just was that like 2 weeks ago, maybe a couple weeks ago? Yeah. So, I know you guys are super busy. So I want to first thank you for, finding some time to chat with me. I know you guys are doing a lot of exciting things. I kind of want to talk a little bit about that. But where are you guys at right now?
We're at the Mar St. Pete.
Yeah.
Mar St. Pete.
Yeah.
Talk to us about what is the Mar and what's the whole vision there?
There's a few different ways people have described our own business. We think of it as a performing arts studio where people can come in and do whatever they want, whether that's production, whether that's
Right.
collaboration, whether that's creating, writing, everything from,
Performing.
conception to performance, I think. People have called it an incubator for performing artists, which I think is kind of cool. People have, one of our
Just
friends,
recently.
yes, called it a
Timeshare.
timeshare for performing artists. Although,
Which makes a lot of sense if you think about
I mean-
it, because we are all part owners, of this
Right.
beautiful thing, and it's like, hey, yeah, we may be paying the bulk of the bills, but we want everybody to have ownership,
yeah,
Yeah. So just to kind of backtrack a little bit, I guess we should kind of start at the beginning, right? Let's kind of go back. So your background, Dave, tell us a little bit about your background and kind of what your role is as far as the artistic side.
well, I'm a drummer, as we
Wait,
know.
what?
And I've been a professional drummer since like 2003 or so, and I've toured. I played cruise ships. I played theme parks. I played bars. I played weddings. I played corporate events. I played pretty much every gig out there until you get something really obscure. And I've learned a lot, but I feel like, not that I want to settle down, because I love touring and I want to keep doing that, but the combination of me just being like, man, I don't want to lug all my stuff to gigs really anymore. I want people
Right.
to have it there already. That's why touring is cool. It would be kind of nice if I didn't really have to do that anymore. I'm okay doing it now. I'm okay doing it in 10 years, but in 20 years, I don't know.
Yeah.
50s. So, this we thought of doing this project, opening a theater, this time. Well, no, in January of 2019. So it's been a little over a year and a half that we've been working on this, and we're about to open in September. But it looked like a way that I could have a home where I could perform, write, I'm also a composer and arranger, and I like being in the creative mind with like-minded individuals. So this could be sort of a hub for that. And then as COVID hit, it was like, well, I don't have any more work. So I'm going to do this all the time now until work comes back, or this becomes my work, which is sort of what's happening right now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, COVID changed everything, man. Especially for artists and creatives, business owners, bar owners.
Oh, yeah.
And the funny thing about it, you had created this concept before COVID hit, right?
Oh yeah. Yep.
So you guys had this idea, and then it just kind of, you COVID hits, right? And then you kind of pivot a little bit and say, well, you know what, we can make this an event space, a virtual event space as well, which kind of works out because that's kind of the direction a lot of, club owners and venues are going right now. Or they're trying to navigate what that's going to look like.
Right.
But you guys are already kind of on that path, right?
Yeah.
The overall trend of venues has been getting smaller and smaller. Like not before COVID, the only way to sell out like a $2,000 or $3,000 place is to be like a Taylor Swift or something like that.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of really amazing people sort of guide us through this, mentors, if you will.
So many.
And it was funny. One of our mentors, when we showed him the space that we wanted originally, which is this giant theater that's like run down in St. Pete. It's like just to buy it as it is, as it lays now, which looks terrible. It was $3.9 million. That's where we started. And yeah, right.
I laugh at it now because I'm like,
Right.
Well, she came and we told her what we wanted to do, and she's looking around at this place, just a big smile on her face, hands behind her back, just taking it all in. And when we get outside, she's like, hey, I think it's wonderful what you're doing, but if you value your marriage, walk away from this.
Get out.
The renovation alone will drive you two apart. And we were like, okay.
Like, whatever, it's fine.
And,
do you know us? Like,
and the universe just kind of pushed us away from it anyway. We couldn't come up with money. And to be honest, I'm thankful that it didn't happen, because now, like, what would we do with, I think that, what is it, 14,000 square feet? Is that place?
14,000.
And now our place now is only 2,300. So, this is much more manageable for two people.
Yeah. And the good news is you can hold on to that $4 million that you had stashed away. You can hold on to that for a rainy day.
Buy some Bitcoin.
If only we could remember where we put it.
Yeah. And so Heather, and then your background, just to kind of, same thing. Your background is also in the arts. So tell me a little bit about your background and how you got started.
I used to be, or I shouldn't say used to be, I used to primarily work as a singer, actor, dancer. I was in musical theater and, performed in the theme parks. I'm a theme park girl. And, Six Flags, Busch Gardens, and all the things. Yeah. And then as I was working at Busch Gardens, I ended up climbing the ladder and going to the other side of entertainment, which is the management side. And then I started project managing for events. And then I realized I had a whole nother love for events and planning and spreadsheets. I'm a big nerd. It's great. And then I worked for Norwegian Cruise Line and did some production management with them, as well as other things that I never thought I would be doing, which was awesome. And then that brought me to this moment where it was like, man, if I had my own theater, I could wear all the hats. I could get up on stage and sing my butt off whenever I want to. I could go and do a monologue or a grand jeté. That's a leap for anybody who doesn't know. And and then I do like events, planned and all that kind of stuff. So it was perfect.
It seems like at the stage of your life, both of you guys are at a point where, all the stuff that you've done in the past, because I know Dave, not only drums, but he was also a teacher. He taught a lot. He did a lot of lessons. Your experience with the events and And I know those cruise line events and all of that stuff. That's pretty extensive.
It
It
is.
gets pretty crazy from what you know.
It is.
It gets pretty crazy. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering, like, is this probably? Would you say this is easier than that? And so,
Yeah, I think on many levels, and then also not easier on many levels.
right. Because now you're the owner.
For sure.
Yeah.
We haven't really gotten to the point where we're like putting on shows yet. We're still in the build out phase, marketing, and right now I'm building acoustic panels to put up on the walls so that like.
It sounds exciting, bro.
Yeah,
Sounds really
exciting.
So cool.
Yeah.
I'm using vacuums to see which one is better for the space. It's really cool,
Really?
Yeah.
Vacuum cleaners?
Super.
When you say vacuum, I mean like vacuum cleaners, is that what you're talking about?
Oh yeah, it's great.
Just get the little robotic ones, the little ones that just.
That's
you
right.
turn them on.
That would be awesome. Except it would probably break after one day from all the sawdust.
I believe it. So you guys are right. Like, I was actually down there, by the way, yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we went by the pier, the new pier.
Nice.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, the concept of it is cool. I would like to see a little bit more of I don't know, an artsy vibe with some of the concrete.
Yeah.
But the design is decent. It's a good place to go. They got a little beach area as well right there, which is pretty cool. Nobody was wearing a mask, by the way. So
yeah,
if you go to the pier, don't expect anybody to be wearing a mask. So that was a little weird. Huh?
We're usually the only ones wearing it when we go.
Yeah. I felt like I was the only one wearing it. Which is it's night and day because Tampa, most public places, you got to wear it. So it was kind of weird, but
it beats the same. Most
the
people
same,
are just they're like, oh, we're outside, so it doesn't work here.
Yeah.
But.
And obviously that's okay. Whatever works for everyone. That's fine.
I guess it's okay. I guess it's okay until it's not okay, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, so we went out there, and then afterwards, I took the fam over to the spot because I know we had talked about, and I don't know if this is something we can semi-announce, but we had talked about doing some mural work on the outside of your venue. So they were like, "Where's it at? Where's the place?" And I was like, "Let me show." Drove them down there and showed it to them. And that particular spot in St. Pete is really there's a lot going on there. A lot of foot traffic, a lot of activity and stuff down there, man.
Yeah.
Did y'all pick that place specifically, or how did you find it?
Really, kind of picked us.
We were looking around this place, like the theater that we wanted is like just at the end of this. This is called the Grand Central District, and it's just inside the Grand Central District, and we like this area, and we were looking around. We went like closer to the water, downtown, and we went to another place sort of like in the heart of downtown. We went to the
Deuces.
Yeah, well, Warehouse Arts District, and we did 3 different buildings there, and couldn't get funding, and then like sort of in a defeated mode or like headspace. We were like, I was just driving, and I saw this place was for rent, and I was like, let's call them. And then it was like,
Yeah, it's March 5th, we essentially gave everything we had to show that we were serious, and 11 days later, everything got shut down, and everybody had to go home.
Yeah. So when that happens, right? When you go and you kind of pull the trigger on something like this, this is a big decision, right?
Yeah.
Huge.
So this kind of life-changing decision that you guys decide to do as a couple, you go, you sign the papers, you take that leap, and then COVID happens. What is that conversation like that day or the next day?
To be honest, there wasn't really much of a conversation, simply because we've been planning on doing this.
We made the decision.
Regardless.
Yeah, and
absolutely.
Like it's scary, but like by the we've been through like 35 different business plans, like 8 different buildings, like pivoting because of the building, and then pivoting because of how much money we could get, and then pivoting. Right. This was just, we had already kind of decided, well, what if we just got a smaller space and started there, and like you know, and
Built it from
we
there.
walked in here and it was like, well, this could be kind of the perfect thing. We're right on the corner. It's in a cool spot. So as, you know, as everything started closing down, we're like, well, we've been wanting to do, you know, streaming and virtual stuff here anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not really going to change
Easy.
anything. It's going to make it a little more difficult logistically. Like we have to, you know, sanitize everything
Right.
down. We have to put up
Right.
the signs and make sure everybody got a mask. But our spot really isn't actually open to the public. It's really only open to our clients.
Yeah.
So like the Ballet of St. Pete or the Bass.
Ballet Academy.
Sorry, Ballet Academy of St. Pete. Like it's when they're here, you know, there's just the kids who dance and the teachers are the only ones letting them, and the parents, of course. But it's not like, you know, we don't just. There's no reason for anyone to just walk in unless they're taking a tour. You know, it's not like you're going in to buy a bag of chips or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Which you could add that later on down the line. Chips and dip.
Chips.
Yeah. Chips and dip.
Chips and dip.
And ballet. No, that's dope, man. I mean, the whole concept is dope because it's simple. I think that's what makes it so cool. It's simple. It's you know, I like the idea of the client based you know, usage. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that just makes sense. That way, just like you said, everybody's got to kind of buying into the idea of what it is and stuff like that. That's dope, man. You know, congratulations on that, guys. For real.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So you're business owners now. How's it feel? You feel like business owners?
It feels good and like terrifying at the same time.
Yeah.
'Cause it's
Are you
so
tired, bro?
It's a little nauseating at times, but most of the time it's just incredible. It's just to kind of walk in the space, and like the first time we had dancers on the floor, where it just was a moment for both of us where we were like, huh, look at that, we did it. Holy moly, there's actually people here that want to be here and use the space.
Yeah, because when I came to visit, you had a ballet class at the time.
Yeah.
Pretty nice sized class.
Yeah.
Which I thought was pretty cool. And I told you I did ballet when I was young, when I was a kid.
So
I just want to reiterate that for the record. I did ballet.
Well, hey, you know, this is not just for kids here. Like, there's
They're
some
gonna have
adults
adult
taking
class.
classes here.
It's probably going to happen on Tuesdays here down the road. They're going to add some things. So.
We're selling 2-for-1 tutus.
2-for-1 tutus.
2-for-1 tutus. That's we got to write it down.
2-for-1, you know.
Right. No, I love St. Pete. You know, I'm from Tampa. Was raised in Tampa, went to high school, met my wife in Tampa. You know, I bounced around. You know, I was a military brat, and then I went in the military myself. So I've been all over the place. But Tampa's my home base. And one thing I've always found a little bit weird, especially over the past, I don't know, maybe the past 15 years or so. Tampa is the bigger city, right? So when you think about Tampa, you think or we think about Florida, you think of Tampa as being maybe the second biggest city or third, maybe behind Jacksonville. I don't know. But in Tampa, for some reason or another, we can't seem to. And Dave, I know you lived in Tampa.
I'm from Tampa. I'm like you.
You're from Tampa. Were you born in Florida?
Born
Tampa?
Born in St. Joseph's. Okay.
Damn. You're ride or die.
Yeah.
You're one of the few, bro.
Yeah, right?
And Heather, you're from Texas, if I'm not mistaken.
I am.
Right? Flower Mound? Flower Mound?
Flower Mound.
Where's that at?
It's
I was born in Texas.
North of Dallas.
Okay.
The next biggest city is
Fort Worth.
Denton. No, Denton County. Or Denton, the city. It has like a big college that's well known. That's University of North Texas, which is like where
It's a huge jazz.
it's an awesome school. I didn't go there, but it's pretty awesome.
Right. I
But
partied there.
it's right there.
What'd you say?
I partied there, but I didn't go there.
Yeah.
She probably did.
No, I wasn't cool like that. I was a nerd in high school, and when I went to college, I wasn't close to UNT. So
Oh man.
that was my partying days. College, yeah, you know, see this gray strip? I'm just kidding.
But no, what I was gonna say was that, you know, Tampa is the city, the bigger city, but St. Pete seems to have all the personality. What is it about St. Pete would
I
you
don't
say
know.
that kind of drew you guys there? What is it that makes it that kind of differentiates it from Tampa?
Funny, I was thinking about it the other
Yeah.
day. Like, I was like, why is St. Pete's? First of all, it's a peninsula on a peninsula, you know?
I
And
didn't think about that.
if you think about it, it's kind of like a miniature United States. We're on the East Coast, or the east side of the peninsula that is Pinellas County.
Yeah.
You really thought about this the other day.
Yeah,
It
did,
really.
apparently.
You weren't just joking.
And it's
Okay, go
like
ahead.
that's like the big city. That's like New York City, you know?
Right.
Because that's where downtown is. And then on the other side, you have like this like beach communities, and that's the California, you know. Then you have Central Avenue, which is Route 66 or whatever, Highway 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And there's something about, I think, and it's a stretch, I know.
Yeah.
But
I like it though. I mean,
it.
I like where you're going with it.
and it's on a grid. Like everything is
Oh yeah,
numbered.
it's so easy.
And it's like,
Yeah.
you know, like if somebody says, yeah, on the corner of Kennedy and Himes, like you know where that is. But if
Right.
you were in Tampa and you didn't know where that was, you'd have to be like, wait, is Kennedy run north? But if you say, you know, First Street South and
6th Avenue.
6th Avenue South and First Street, you're like, oh,
I know exactly
Yeah.
I know where that is.
that.
Even though
Well,
you may not know what it looks like.
Right. I always thought that the reason that Tampa wasn't able to really thrive artistically as a community was that it was so spread out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have North Tampa and
It
people
is
that
very spread out. You're right.
and like just recently, I mean, I would say over the past 10, 15 years, they've finally started to build up you know, all the condos downtown and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what was lacking before was nobody hung out downtown. I remember living in Tampa in high school and shit, even, you know, like I said, 15 years ago, nobody was downtown. Nobody was
yeah.
hanging out there.
Everything
one
closed
bar.
at 5 o'clock. You know.
Right. You had the hub. You had like one bar down there.
Yeah.
Have you ever played at the hub, by the way?
I've been
Yeah.
there. Ooh, it's
Yeah.
so smoky. It's so smoky. I can't do it.
Yeah,
I've been
yeah,
there years.
yeah. It's
because of that.
it's a fucking Tampa staple for sure. But yes,
Yes, it is.
walk out of there smelling like a straight
Oh, yeah.
ashtray.
Brass Mug is kind of the same thing. Or I used
Brass
to
Mug?
the other one, the one before they moved or wherever they are now. But the one on Fletcher is the one I played at like
Yeah,
times. They knew me.
right. No, man. So you have this spot. You're in the middle of an artistic community. Lots of art on the walls, lots of murals, a lot of little museums, or not? Little art galleries. The Dolly museums down there. You have this thriving culture, and right now you're opening kind of at the right. You know, I feel like you're opening at the right time to really kind of capture a lot of that creativity and a lot of that traffic.
Yeah.
Aside from what you already talked about, what do you guys have like a 5-year plan of where you want to see this thing go, or what's that look like?
I mean, I don't know if it's necessarily a 5-year, but it definitely is a stepping. You know, there is a stair stepper.
Yeah.
I want to end up in that space that we found last year. You know,
Giant theater.
I want that to be the Mar at some point. You know, or an extension of the Mar. It's just so cool, and it's.
Yeah.
I don't know, that building, ever since we made this plan to do this, whatever this is, has
Right.
just been calling me. So it's you know, every time we go past it, I always say, "Hi, pretty girl."
She does.
She has to know that I love her, and she's
Right.
my building, so it's fine.
Right.
I have to make sure she knows she's loved. But
It's there. It's really. I mean, you would go in there and you'd be like, "This is pretty cool." And
it's so cool. The vibe.
nobody
is
wants it too, which makes it cooler for me.
Is it because it needs so much work? Is that why it's still like on the market?
Yeah, totally. So like, if you can imagine like a theater with the proscenium, you know, and the stage. So if you turn around from the stage and look at the balcony and look at the house, it looks awesome. It's like, oh wow, what a cool theater. It needs
Just
some
needs
work.
to be
Like,
cleaned up. No big deal. A little
but
bit
if
of paint.
you
You
turn
know.
around and look at the stage, what they did is they built, I think the last thing it was a sports bar. So they built a kitchen on the stage, then put a wall in front of that and built a prep room, and then a wall in front of that, and then built a bar. So the bar is in the band pit, right? And then there's a roof that they put over the kitchen and the prep room where there were more places to sit. So
and another bar.
They ruined it for
Yes.
for what it was originally designed for.
Yeah, it sounds like Florida.
Yeah.
Well, and the building itself is, it's from 1925 is when it was built. So it's a historic building, which is also really cool, and has a lot of possibilities to get some grants and things like that to help bring it back up, but it's still not enough for what's needed. So I don't know. It's just something so cool about it, and it's all still there. It's just covered up by additional bars and kitchens.
Yeah.
All kinds
They'll
of
put
stuff.
a sports bar. They'll put a sports bar anywhere.
Yeah.
Cemetery, doesn't matter. Like, that's Florida all day. Put a sports bar. No, it takes a special. It takes that eye. It takes the right person to understand and see what a place could be. And your average investor or your real estate person is not going to see that.
Yeah,
It
they
takes that.
see a money pit.
Yeah. And you have that artistic eye, you have the vision, so I think, man, I can see it happening. But this is a good start,
Perfect.
I mean, another thought was, this is the Mar St. Pete, could be the Mar Tampa, open up one over there.
Exactly.
It's not a really big undertaking to do this,
Right.
or the Mar, somewhere
Chicago
or whatever, because if all goes to what we see in our head, this could be a really cool hub for to focus the performing arts community, and another thing we want to do besides just have people in here is help bridge the gap between learning how to do your craft, instrument, acting, whatever, dancing,
Right.
from that point to actually being a professional, because it's you graduate from college with a degree in music, and then you're like, all right, now what? And you just kind of just ask people for gigs, but no one ever says okay, well, you could play, but you could also do production, you could do music therapy, all these subgenres of places to get work, and we want to be helpful in that way. And also, how do you do your taxes? What can you write off? That's another thing, because most of the time you're self-employed. Very rarely are you a employed W-2 employee as a performing artist. And then how to do a resume, how to audition, that kind of stuff nobody teaches you, and we want everybody to come here and share that stuff. So the next generation will have a leg up, and then all of a sudden you got a really cool, thriving community.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned the subgenres, because if that's kind of what you guys have built a career on. So when people think about singers, they think Beyonce or Taylor Swift, but there's so many other areas where you can actually make a living.
Oh yeah.
And do what you love. Yeah.
I just spoke to a mother the other day about how she was not really feeling comfortable with supporting or pushing her daughter to go down this entertainment path, because the program is that entertainment equals $0, no security. If you can't get the part, you don't get paid. Now, yes, there are some things that are that, but when you open your eyes up to the massive size of the entertainment world and how many things you can do within it, it's crazy. Now, not to say that all those things are going to come to you on a silver platter, but it's so cool that you don't have to just be one thing. And so that's where I go to the parents that are a little iffy about it and say, but there's just so much out there, if they have any kind of organizational skills at all, they could be in the stage management side or project management side or the technical side. If they have a really cool speaking voice, they could go to the voiceover side. They could do all that kind of stuff. The commercial side, which I haven't even really tapped into yet. There's just so many aspects of theater.
And also you could be a weekend warrior, and like you do, you're an accountant, and here's a way to still do what you want to do. But because I know guys who work full-time banking jobs and then show up Saturday night to do the gig, and then they're back to
Right.
thing. So like, there's so many ways to do it rather than the one.
Yeah.
Superstar.
I mean, I'm that dude. To be honest with you, I had my I started early, bro. I started early with everything. I had I was married at 18. I had my first daughter at 18. I went in the army, came out, and was working. I didn't really tap into my creative side officially until really I got with Gage. We started the basics. It was always there, but I didn't have any outlets. It wasn't like any of my friends were like in bands and none of that stuff. But yeah, it worked. I was always the dude. I would hang out with all the artists, and they would all be like sleeping on couches, and we'd all be puffing and drinking and doing all the shenanigans that come with being artists. But I would always, all right, man, I gotta go. I'd go home and wake up and go to work the next day, and but just having that outlet, man, was always important. It was always needed, to just foster creativity. You know what I'm saying?
Especially for people like us who have to have something creative. Like I had a business job, or a desk job, excuse me. It was still in the entertainment business, but it was sitting at a computer for 8 to 10 hours a day.
Data entry.
It just data entry, and it was just, and even though it was for the entertainment business and the industry, like my portion of it was just data entry, and I was like shriveling up inside. I needed something to give me some sort of creative outlet. So I tried to like make everything more streamlined and like, come up with different kind of spreadsheets and like that kind of stuff. It just wasn't enough. It wasn't.
Yeah. And then they shoot it all down. That's too fancy.
Yeah, right?
We don't want that font.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally get it. You just gotta create something,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you know this, but like, since, I still do the music. I still do some songs and collaborate with different artists and stuff like that. But I got into painting as well, right?
Yeah.
The funny story is, the painting came about because I was working in corporate America, and I was just fucking bored out of my mind. One thing that they always had plenty of, they always had a supply closet full of like sticky pads and markers, and I would fucking draw and I was the dude in there. I would just go take my sticky notes and put them on people's cubicle walls. I would draw little pictures and just go. So everybody knew me as the dude that had all these doodles and
doodle
boy, yeah. And but it's funny because that those doodles ended up, I transferred that to paintings, and started to really kind of get find a love for that. And then we did a mural in Tampa not too long ago. So it's just funny how things work out and why they happen the way they happen. You know what I mean?
It's interesting that you say that, and I'll let you finish your thought. And I was going to share something too.
Go ahead.
When I was in high school, I didn't start playing drums until I was like 18.
Right.
Like I'm super late to the game as far as that's concerned. Prior to that, the only thing I really cared about was drawing and painting. So when I started college, I went as an art major. I was seeking to become, a painter.
Right.
And then I got a gig. Like I just happened to be playing drums, and somebody called me to do a thing, and I was like, I can get paid playing music. I'm out doing music now. Thanks, art.
Yeah. And then you become known for that. You become known as the drummer. Yeah. Even if you could paint all the way up until that point, and as soon as you start drumming, now you're the drummer. Yeah. Nobody remembers you from the art. No, that's dope, man. Like I said, I mean, just to be able to get paid for your creativity and to develop that is tough. It's not easy. It's not easy. So, I noticed that you guys were doing meditation sessions at the Mars. Is that still happening?
Oh yeah,
Yes,
we've been doing
every
that
day.
since April, I think.
Every weekday, I should say. Yes.
Now, who teaches the sessions? Who teaches? You are the teacher? Okay. Um, and I bring that up because I've meditated off and on, throughout my life. I mean, I'm trying to get a little bit more consistent about it. I've been really, working on breathing exercises as of late, especially with all this COVID stuff.
Oh yeah.
for
So
sure.
every other day, I feel like I have COVID, by the way. So I'm like, let me get up and breathe and shit. Let me lay on my stomach. Weird. But I noticed that you had the meditation classes.
Yeah, I
Right.
actually started it because of COVID. It's
Did you?
yeah, because I've been meditating like really heavily, really working on myself and my inner self.
I'm imagining heavily meditating,
And
really going for it.
ever since January of this year, and I have just seen the benefits like tenfold. It's so cool. It's so stinking cool, the magic that we have inside ourselves. And so I figured, well, I want to share it with people. I want people to learn what I'm learning, and on a much smaller scale, because I don't want to scare people away. But like just that idea of breathing and taking a minute to yourself, like we only do it, maybe the longest one we've done is 15 minutes, but it's usually between like 10 and 12 minutes. And it's only that. That's it. Just 10 minutes a day, maybe 13 sometimes, and you just feel a difference. And it's super basic, super beginner for the most part. Sometimes I may get a little more intense, but I try to keep it to where anybody who is watching can just close their eyes and join, but it's so cool. It's so cool.
Mental health is such like
It's very important.
I don't want to call it a hot topic, but like mental health is like there's some serious issues going around. Like not only that they have, but like as far as pharmaceuticals and medications, and like it's dangerous stuff. And like the power of taking just a moment to breathe, just a moment to yourself with. And that's another thing. We have, our phones, which was like the most amazing creation of all time. Like we're having
Almost
this conversation
the worst.
on our phone.
Right.
But like there's nothing that isn't at your fingertips anymore, which means it's constantly from there to here, like all day long. We're checking it. And like I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but like, like even 15 years ago, like it wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
But like we have that much stimuli coming into our faces and into our minds. And that makes taking a moment to step away and let everything settle, or like push some stuff out, or like if you don't, for me, I can't speak for everybody, but like if I don't take that moment to sort of push everything away, I get real cranky real fast.
Yeah.
And it's tough too, because if it's with media at all, it's all negative. I can't say that. Mostly negative. So when you get on Facebook, if you've been searching anything with the media, all these ads are on there just like throwing death and murders and everything at you. And it's like, oh my gosh, I just need to just get it out of there for a minute. I don't want to be in that headspace of negativity. Yes, I realize it's out there. But there's so many more beautiful things that are out there that they don't get talked about because it's not good TV, So it's like, again, meditation helps you to pull back and just be in the space that you create for those few minutes, and it actually helps.
Quiet the mind.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I'm always looking to quiet the mind. I have a bunch of kids running around screaming and daddy this, daddy that, which I love. However, I do have to find little hiding places and things of that nature. But I have my kids meditate.
Oh,
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, I tell so the principles that I kind of lay out for my kids is mind, body, spirit. I kind of keep it mind, body, spirit, right? So mind, get a good education. Be a free thinker. Think of education as an ongoing thing outside the classroom, et cetera. And then body, they're all athletic. They all play sports just as I did. So I don't have any problem getting them to be athletic and getting them to work out.
Good.
But the meditation part was the spirit, just kind of connecting. And I just told them, I mean, and I'm not a guru at all. I mean, I'll Google something or I'll watch a YouTube, and basically I just tell them, look, just breathe, breathe in for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, be quiet, try to just listen, and they actually love it. They actually they're not consistent with it. I got to remind them, but it does chill them out, kind of chills them out, and I recommend I recommend people, number one, meditate or at least attempt to work on some type of breathing exercises.
Yeah.
I've read a statistic. I don't remember the specifics, but it was something like if we started offering some sort of basic meditation in schools right now, by like 2030, there would be, I think it was something like crazy, like 50% less antidepressant pharmaceuticals that would go around, like just something crazy.
Right.
And I was like,
I don't doubt
it
it.
totally makes sense though, because it's so cool. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Dave, do you meditate as well? Do you guys meditate together?
I was inspired by her because she did like a 13 week, 12 weeks course on mindfulness and
It's huge, like really
spiritual
deep.
healing.
Yeah.
And like she met with this lady like
every week.
And then
It's like a therapy session except with energy.
Yeah, and like like to be totally honest, like using like crystals and all this stuff, it's totally far out for me, like a little bit.
Right.
Thank you, but no
We'll
thank
be
you.
right back.
But I saw the transformation of when she started to where she ended, and like how just lighter, she
Yeah.
was like happier, like.
Would you consider yourself? Were you a person that would get stressed out easily back then, or yeah?
Oh yeah.
Always stressed all the time. Yeah.
So the thing that I had to work on was not stopping, but like calming this.
Right.
I would just have so many things and programs telling me that I, don't do that because of this, and don't feel this because of this, and like all that kind of stuff. And like even when I started the program and the process of learning how to do this with my teacher, there was moments where 2 days into it, I was like emailing her. I'm like, I don't think I'm doing this right, and she was like, just calm down.
Right. You're overanalyzing.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
yes. And it's like the idea of trusting and letting go. It's so nice. Like even just talking about it now, like makes me feel good because I just don't carry things like I used to. Like my back used to hurt all the time because I was carrying, like not literally, but like metaphorically, my back was so heavy because I had everything. I was just carrying everybody's everything.
Yeah.
Because that's how I am. I'm a nurturer, and I'm a pleaser, and I want to make people feel better. Which is, I'm so much lighter now.
So I saw that, and I was like, man, let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
And I
You gave it a shot.
Yeah, and now I'm pretty disciplined about it. I do it. I don't think I've missed a day since like April like
something,
6th
whenever
or
you
something
started.
like that. I haven't missed a day.
I didn't think it was possible for you to be any more chill than you already were when I originally.
Me?
Yeah, you. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's pretty chill, but he gets in there too. Like.
I
His
can
mind
see
can
it.
go crazy too.
Well, I mean, specifically, like, there's two really big things happening in my life: COVID and opening a business. Two seriously heavy things. Why not do them at the same time?
Why
So,
not?
like that, that's like a perfect storm.
Perfect storm,
and like,
yeah.
I have to be careful, if I don't get enough sleep. Blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. But
No, I think I've kind of dove headfirst into a bunch of different stuff as well, a bunch of different projects.
Yeah.
And I think that's my way of coping with all that's going on is, all right, let me dive into this project or that project and let me say yes to this or say yes to that, just so my mind is not thinking about all this other stuff that's going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this podcast. I mean, I've been perpetually working on this concept for years. Dave and I did a little interview, and I used to do that. I used to walk around with this little thing and just interview people. But I was like, why not just dive in and really go a little bit harder with it and be a little bit more consistent and aggressive about it? And then why not do a mural in Tampa? And why not, see if we can do a mural in St. Pete? And why not coach football? I coach my kids' football team.
Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome.
I'm all over the place, man. I'm all over the place. But when I'm not doing anything is when I get in my, like you were saying, all them little, they start to chattering, man. So the meditation.
When you close your eyes, start to breathe. I promise you, the more you do it, the easier it is to turn it down.
Right.
I'm not saying it'll stop. Maybe someday it will. Who knows? Whatever you want, you can manifest it. If you want it to stop, you can make it stop. But it's definitely easier to be like, okay, moving on.
Yeah. When can people? So for people that are watching and that are like, yeah, I need to meditate. She sounds like me. How can they come on and meditate and
Right now we do it on the Mar St. Pete Facebook page and the Instagram page at 9:00 every weekday morning. If you don't catch it live, you can see it on our page whenever you want to. Just press play, go to any of the videos. We have oh my gosh, we have so many now.
We may be in the hundreds.
I think so.
We're in the hundreds.
What's the website?
Do one a day for a while.
Yeah.
What's the website?
Do what?
What's the website?
The Facebook is the Mar St. Pete. It's facebook.com/the Mar St. Pete. Or you can go to themarstpete.com and all of our Instagram, Facebook, all the handles are there. Just click on one of them.
And then at the Mar St. Pete is Instagram.
Yeah.
And then
September 1st.
September 1st
will be our grand opening and the very first live in-person morning meditation. It's very exciting.
Morning.
Yes.
Morning.
It's a morning meditation.
Like that. Nothing says.
I like it. I don't know why, but I like it.
Yeah, right.
Well, we're gonna have it right here on the floor
right
behind
here.
us.
And we can fit 18 people with 36 square foot little boxes and have them be safe and separated and
Nice.
And it'll be the same thing, just 15 minutes, easy, basic, just get in here, let's feel each other's vibe and energy, and I almost went in the wrong direction. But let's just be together, human connection without touching, because we don't want to get anybody sick, but a safe environment where you can just be. So
that's going to be on the September 1st, you said?
September 1st at 9 a.m.
9
right
a.m.
here at the Mar St. Pete.
I may try to come. I'm still a little paranoid, so I may do it virtually.
Yes, and you can always do that. We're going to stream it as well.
Yeah. No, but that's dope. I mean, I'm really I'm excited, man. I'm excited for you guys. Thanks. I mean, I can tell when I look at you, you're excited. It's like a baby for you. It's like a new kid. Heather wears her excitement all over her face. Dave is a little bit more subdued.
Yeah.
Well,
that's basically us.
Right. Yeah. Dave is meditating too much is what's going on.
I'm meditating right now.
And I need to meditate more. I get it. I get what we're saying.
Right. No, that's awesome, man. Well, I'm glad everything's working out for you, despite all the craziness that's happening in the world. It seems like you guys have a clear focus and a direction that you are, dead set on going towards. So I know it's going to work out well for you guys. I have no doubt in my mind. I put the website up, themarstpete.com. So for anybody who's watching, go check it out. Stop by September 1st if you can. Check out the Facebook page, like all of it, subscribe, all that good stuff. But yeah, man, I appreciate your time today, and let's do this again. after 2021. See how things are going. Sound
I
good?
love that.
Sounds good,
Let's
man.
do it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
I'm glad we're reconnecting. Like, you know, it's been years since we've talked.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
It's good stuff, man. I
Good
miss
stuff,
you. That's what
brother.
I'm trying to say. Snuggie.
I think you.
Aw,
I miss you too, bro.
don't
I miss you too, man. I miss you too. We had some really good times, bro. But I think it's gonna just, from this point on, man, we'll move into another chapter.
That's
Right.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Love it.
Dave, Heather, thanks so much, guys. I appreciate it. Good luck with everything.
Thank
I'll see you soon.
All
See you
right.
soon, bro. All right, man.
Yeah.
Take care.
Bye.
All right, that was Dave and Heather Hamar. Very cool people. Very excited to be launching their new event space, the Mar in St. Pete. Check them out. Go to the website. Support local artists. It does a lot for the community, especially in these times when artists and event coordinators and things of that nature are at a standstill. Anything we can do to help, we should do. So with that said, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Convo Unedited. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like and subscribe. Appreciate you.